Alright, this literally has to be one of the saddest raid-up banners we've gotten in a long time, so much so that I wasn't even gonna take the time to cover it, but with a kind of weird lack of stuff to talk about right now, I thought I would take this, just kind of poke a little bit of fun at Lisangle, because if you haven't been paying attention, and I would not, put it past you for just not seeing this banner go up, over on the NA side of things, of course, they decided to do a Halloween Revival 2024 summoning campaign, bringing back some older Halloween servants, and it's Osaka Behime and Vlad III. Now, longtime players might immediately recognize that both of these servants are not story locked, nor are they limited in any way. So why they felt the need to do this raid up? I mean, you could even throw, say, like Cleopatra out there, right? Cleopatra is at least a past Halloween servant that is limited. You could chuck like Vlad extra on there as well, because he was a major part in the Cleopatra one as well. But it is just particularly funny to me that they were just scrambling at the office being like, what can we possibly do? Okay, we don't want to throw out the advanced quest campaign, right? We don't want to start the singularity repair campaign, right? We don't want to start any of these for whatever reason. They don't want to start rolling them out. Maybe it would get us a little too close to JP. We'd be 1 year, 11 months, but 2 weeks behind. Can't have that happening. So they throw out this random banner, and let me just ask for like the 5 people that are going to watch this. Can you just let me know in the comments if you summoned on this banner, or if you know anybody personally that actually went through and summoned on this banner? Because I would love to get some stats on this, right? Like, I wish we could get stats for like how many people put quartz into a banner, or like how many quartz total were used on banners, because this is one of those ones that like maybe actually would just hit 0. Like, literally nobody would go into this banner, because it started on the 21st, ends on the 27th. Like, so it ends in like 3 days. So hey, if you're a huge Osaka Behime fan and you're just not gonna pick her up for free in the future when she's on the free 5-star ticket, or you're just banking that you'll never get spooked by her ever whenever you summon because they're on every single banner, then by all means let me know in the comments down below. But there are other servants that came back around for this Halloween 2024 event. I mean, like I mentioned, you could do Cleopatra, and they did already bring back Jacques, who was last year's Halloween servant. They also, threw Sei in there, even though Sei literally appears for like 2.5 seconds in the story. Same thing for Murasaki. They appear for like 4.5 seconds in the story to just be like, hey, I'm here, isn't that cool? And then they dip out immediately. Or I guess not dip out, they're part of the Mount Leong thing, but if you've read the story, you know what I'm talking about. But, I think it would have made more sense if you threw like Amakusa on the banner. Maybe you could throw Zenobia on there, because she's kind of involved. Abigail could get a raid up. I mean, I don't know who's going to summon for Abigail, but hey, these are limited servants you could throw up there that would make a little bit more sense. I mean, how about the fact that Liz doesn't have a raid up going into this? She wasn't on raid up for the other one. She's not here for this one. I mean, Liz is kind of the poster child for Halloween over here. But I mean, even if you want to go back to, I believe Oniland was one of our Halloween events, what, like 2-3 years ago? You could throw Shuten Doji and Ibaraki Doji on a banner like this. Like, if you want to bait people, this just seems like the worst way to go about doing it, right? Like, I have no idea. Like, I would love to have sat down in like the NA board meeting for like whatever they're like doing every single week. So I'm assuming it's like a weekly thing where they're like, all right, we got to give the people some content. What are we going to throw out there for them? Sir, well, we could do the Advanced Quest Part 10, or, the Singularity Repair campaign does take a fat minute. I mean, there are like 10 banners that are coming out over the course of numerous weeks. We could go ahead and start that. I mean, hey, at least the first one's a Jalter banner, right? That might kind of tempt people. Jalter kind of fits in line with the Halloween aesthetic, right? Like, she's kind of spooky a little bit in Orleans. Like, if you look at her aesthetic, she's burning stuff. She's got dragons. That's kind of on brand for Halloween. Like, some people will get what I'm saying, right? You could see that, but no, they were like, no, let's just do the Osaka Behime and the Vlad one, right? Which again really does boggle my mind, because we have other servants that could bring back. Like I said, we have past Halloween guys you could have thrown on this that might be a little bit more tempting. There are guys that are event bonus that, as we talked about in yesterday's video, the day before this one, with Melt getting a buff, there are other event servants, that are on, the bonus on that event that could also get buffs moving forward. Similarly, there are other servants here that you could throw on raid up. I mean, it wouldn't probably tempt me into summoning on anything, but hey, getting an NP2 or NP3 Zenobia, that would kind of be, kind of decent for me. As someone that has used her a lot over on the JP side of things, I know getting that NP 2 to 3 makes a world of a difference when you're stuck at NP 1. So I mean, for some people, they might want to go into that and they might be intrigued. And I mean, you guys all know that me personally, I would have just said, again, drop Advanced Quest 10 or, start the Singularity Repair, campaign, those like list of banners and buffs that we're going to be getting as well for that. Because I mean, that's also when like Masashi gets her buff and a good handful of other characters are going to get theirs. But everyone knows that I'm a huge proponent of getting the games a little bit more caught up. I would like to at least be a year behind. A lot of other gacha games are getting to that point where they're anywhere from like completely up to date with the international version of the game, or they are maybe like 6 months behind. You can think of something like the Dragon Ball game that recently just got caught up with the JP side of things, and then you have Arc Knights, which is about 6 months behind the Chinese version of the game, which is like the main server. It's just still ridiculous to me that we're 2 years behind, and I'm like, bro, if we need something to throw out, just throw out something that's not going to be that hype in the future anyway. Like, Advanced Quest 10 is going to come out, everybody's going to run those missions, maybe it takes them like 2 hours tops if you're just sitting down and trying to stream through it and you like lose a run or two, right? You do that, you get that all done and squared away so that when anniversary comes out, you can get all your sane course for finishing the advanced quest. But after that, you're done, right? It's not the most insane thing, but hey, it could at least be something for people like me that are already done grinding the event to go over and, farm those advanced quests, because most people are finishing the event by the time this 3rd week is rolling around. By the time we're like over 2 weeks into the event, most people are done farming, and I got done farming and I was behind. I didn't play the event for like the first week because I wanted to sit down and read the entirety of the story in, one big chunk. So I was like, I'll just put it off for then. I don't care if I won't be able to grind. Like, I got a decent chunk of, CEs that I got from summoning for Huyan. Nothing too crazy, but I know I can catch up. So I don't know, like, just being a proponent of getting even a year behind, which is really sad, again, compared to a lot of other gacha games, like, that we're kind of hoping on maybe being a year behind, it just kind of makes me sad. I mean, I also see stuff like the JP side of things where they're like, oh, well, they're not really, doing new holiday stuff. Like, we didn't really get a Halloween event over on JP. We got the Kazura drop event. And I see stuff like that, and I'm like, well, maybe they're doing that so that way it would be easier to get the NA version of the game caught up with the JP version. Because one thing people will say is that, well, it's really hard to get caught up if you have, summers. You want to run summer during the summertime, or you want to run Valentine's in February, Halloween in October, stuff along those lines. So I understand that, but if they're not going to be doing any new, festive events, right, or they're just going to do reruns for them, like say with what they do with Christmas on occasion, then to me, it kind of perks up my ears. I kind of start looking at that saying, hey, maybe we could get caught up. But then I see random banners like this drop on the NA side of things where all I got to tell you is don't summon on this banner. Like, avoid it like the plague. If you really want Vlad or Osaka Behime, you can just summon on any banner, anyone that has a limited 5-star servant. That is way better than both of these two characters combined. I mean, think of like any of the servants that are coming out next year, and you have a pretty, I don't want to say a decent chance, but you have a chance that one of these two will just randomly walk their way into your summons. Or you could just pick them up for free in a couple of years whenever we get the free 5-star ticket. So that's my piece. That's my little rambling rant thing over here. Not really so much of a rant. I'm not too upset, but I'm just like, bro, what are you guys doing over there, man? Like, what is going on in those boardrooms? What is going on in the back rooms of the FGO NA team, if you will? I want to be a part of those discussions. Let me in there. Hire me. I just want to listen in. I want to be a fly in the wall and hear people go like, well, we could run that. Or, hey, check this out, lads. What if we did an Osaka Behime and Vlad banner? Yeah, that'll really get them. But with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Patreon, Twitch, Discord, all that stuff down in the description down below. I can't be bothered to plug it, dude. Look, if they can't be bothered to put effort into a banner, I can't be bothered to plug stuff in the description. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Late, guys.